When it gets bone-chilling cold like it is now, it's only natural to think of foods that can warm us up inside, right? Let's bring in food and dining editor for the Daily Memphian, Jennifer Biggs, who joins us regularly to talk about tasty topics like this. She's joining us from her kitchen in East Memphis tonight. So, Jennifer, this week you wrote about soups as a great way to help us warm up. I know one of my favorites is the she crab soup at Itabena and Moondance. How about you?
I like that one a lot. But, I kind of like clear soups more. My favorite soup, probably my favorite soup in town, is yam bao, which is a dumpling soup from Mosa. But I say that, and it's true, but I also love that she crab soup at Itabena and at Moondance, same soup, because sometimes you want something creamy. It all depends. Soups are, do you want a hearty stew? Do you want a clear soup that's kind of going to help with your, sinuses and kind of warm you all over, or something creamy? That's always good too. I mean, there's so many things soup can do. It can't give us sun and sand like we would like to have in the winter, but it can help get through these dreary days.
That's right, helps a lot. Despite all the challenges restaurant owners face these days, there are still new ones opening up, and Summer Avenue, which may be the widest, most diverse selection of food in Memphis, has another example of that called the Horn of Africa, which opened. Tell us about that.
It's really interesting because I included this as a new eats, as you know, but it's really not that new. It's just that so many things that opened right before or during COVID, we're just kind of now catching up with. And Horn of Africa is an Ethiopian restaurant. I don't know how many times I might have driven past that because it's right in the same strip with K Bakery, which houses K Bakery, which has a panaderia next to it, and then also a Colombian restaurant. Right across the street, you have a Middle Eastern restaurant, a Middle Eastern market. It's so diverse around Summer Avenue, and I think that it's something that brings people really together. All Memphians seem to like Summer Avenue. They want to eat on Summer Avenue. They think it's cool to eat on Summer Avenue. There's so much to do that it's kind of hard to stay off it if you want interesting food. Horn of Africa certainly adds to that. It's Ethiopian. It was just so warm and inviting. The woman who owns it was so happy to talk to me about any dish I wanted to talk about, served me some wonderful tea. It was just a really sweet little place with delicious food.
Anxious to try it. I've had Ethiopian before, but elsewhere, never here, so I'll have to give that a go. And right now you're working on a story coming soon on a group that gathers every Thursday for their Liars Luncheon. And today you got to sit down with some of the guys who take part as we show you their picture. People will no doubt recognize at least three of them. You got Dave Brown there, the former WMC meteorologist, Dave Voloshin, who covers Tigers basketball games, and of course Jerry the King Lawler. What a crazy group that is, and now I'm intrigued. What's your story about?
Well, my story is about an 18-month hunt that they've had for chicken tenders. During the summer of COVID, the first summer of COVID, 2020, Houston's quit serving the chicken tenders that these guys like to eat at lunch every day. It turns out at least a couple of them are kind of what I would call picky eaters. They say they're not. They say they're selective eaters. And maybe more than a couple. Maybe they're sort of set in their ways on what they want to eat. And they've been looking for chicken tenders, and it turns out now that they have found some, and you can read about that soon on the Daily Memphian. We had lunch today, and I'm working on that story now.
Very good. Well, I'm jealous. Sounds like it was a fun time. To catch up on our topics discussed tonight and anything else related to the food and dining scene here, check out Jennifer's stories on thedailymemphian.com. That's thedailymemphian.com. Jennifer Biggs is the food and dining editor over there. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.